The drama begins with our female lead, Susie, who is currently waiting for her boyfriend at the marriage bureau. She calls him and asks, "We had planned to get our marriage certificate today, right? So why haven't you arrived here yet?" Just then, a girl on the call tells her that Lee is here sleeping with me. "If you want, I can wake him up for you." Then she sends her a photo of herself and him. After seeing this, Susie is shocked. She remembers how, in front of everyone at the office, he had proposed to her and promised that he would always be loyal to her. But now he has broken his promise. Then Susie tells the girl, "Thank you for letting me know what a huge piece of trash he is. Now that you like that trash so much, you can have him as far as I'm concerned." And then crying, she hangs up the call and decides that she won't be sad for him. There is no place in my life for a cheating man. Then she leaves her marriage registration appointment right there and walks away. Just then, a guy calls out to her and asks if someone has cheated on her too. So Susie turns around when she hears his voice and asks if he needs something. Then the guy asks her, "If someone has cheated on you, why don't you consider me? There are only 3 minutes left before the marriage bureau closes, so why don't you marry me?" And this is none other than our male lead, Shen. Then, when Susie and he are getting their photos taken for the marriage certificate, she thinks to herself that today her boyfriend cheated on her, and on the very same day, she's marrying a stranger. As soon as the two of them step out of the office with their certificate, Susie gets a call from her friend who tells her that their team at the company has just received an urgent task, so she'll have to come in to work quickly. So Susie then asks her friend for her name and then introduces herself, mentioning which airline company she works for. She then gives her her business card and says that she can contact her later. "Right now I have to go for work urgently." Saying this, she leaves, and Shen, looking at her card, thinks to himself how outstanding she still is, just like before. Just then, a lot of cars stop there and the guards come over to welcome him. At that moment, the secretary comes and asks him, "You are the young master of the PE family, so why have you suddenly come to this small town?" Shen then explains that he came to get a marriage certificate, and he even shows the certificate to him. The secretary is quite shocked and says, "You've been single for so long, so who is this girl you met that made you get married so suddenly?" Shen replies, "You'll find out soon enough," and then gets into the car and leaves. On the other hand, we see Susie, who is at her company, and she is thinking about how she suddenly married someone just like that. She regrets it because she doesn't even know him, and she wonders how she will get to know him better now. Then we see Susie working, and we find out that she is an air traffic controller here, and she does her job very well. All her colleagues are very impressed, saying that she is beauty plus brains. Then her colleague starts telling her that a big shot is coming to their company today and a welcome party is being organized for him. So all of us will have to be present there. Then Susie also arrives at the party, and here her colleague tells her more, that the new guy who is coming is actually the heir of the P family and a very rich man who has come from abroad. That's why Susie's colleague tells her that since you're our company's star controller, I think the boss will definitely send you to toast a drink to him, to show him respect. So Susie says, "No, I won't go because I can't really hold my drink. On top of that, I just got my marriage certificate today." Then her friend says, "You really are so disciplined. You just married that Lee today and you're already being so loyal to him?" So Susie clarifies that I didn't marry that Lee, and yes, don't even mention that cheater in front of me. "Wait, I'll show you a photo of my handsome husband right now." And then she shows her the marriage certificate. So her friend starts asking, "Where did you find this guy? He's so handsome." So Susie says, "I just married some random guy on the street." Then her friend says, "You're not that type of person. How did you even do something like this?" So she says, "I'm also wondering how I'm going to get to know this stranger I married." And by now, Susie is already very drunk. Just then, Lee also comes and sits down along with his new girlfriend, Xiao. The two of them are talking among themselves, saying that the manager is about to bring in the big shot, and if they manage to make a good impression in front of him, who knows, they might even get a promotion. Then, as soon as Shen's arrival is announced, everyone stands up, and Susie's friend quickly helps her stand as well. As soon as Shen arrives, everyone starts welcoming him, and when Susie sees him, she quickly runs over to him, calls him husband, and jumps onto him. He is completely shocked by this. Susie tells him that his purse smells really nice, and then she kisses him. Seeing this, everyone else is also shocked. Then Susie's friend quickly comes over, apologizes on her behalf, and drags Susie out of there. After that, the manager quickly apologizes to Shen, explaining that his employee was very drunk, and everyone else continues to welcome Shen. He toasts drinks with everyone and tells the manager that he has some urgent work, then leaves. So Lee and his new girlfriend Xiao think that because of what Susie did, she's finished now. She messed with such a big shot. Susie's friend is taking her outside. Then Susie starts telling her, "The guy you just saw, he's the husband I found on the street." So her friend starts telling her that she's drunk, that's why she's talking nonsense. But Susie says, "No, I'm not drunk. Look, I can even walk properly." And she moves forward. Just then, she almost falls into the water, but Shen quickly comes and saves her. And then, seeing all this, Susie's friend becomes certain that this is definitely her husband. The photo she had shown was of him. She thinks that she had heard online news about the young master of the P family, that he has had a long time crush on someone, so she starts worrying for Susie, thinking that all this might end up hurting her. Already, one friend, Lee, has cheated her. Then here, Susie starts telling Shen, "Husband, look, we've met here again," and she rests her head on his shoulder and falls asleep. At that moment, Shen asks her friend what happened to her. So she explains that Susie is upset, which is why she drank so much. So Shen then thinks that it seems she is upset because of her ex-boyfriend. At this point, Susie's friend tells Shen, "Now that you are her husband, you should take care of her. I'm leaving now." And taking her purse, she leaves. Shen then starts asking Susie, "Where do you live?" "I'll take you to your home." So Susie says, "I won't go home," and then sits down and says, "Because I don't have a home." Shane asks, "Then where should I take you?" She replies, "To your home," and then falls asleep again. Then in the morning, when Susie wakes up, she is shocked and wonders where she is. She also finds a note from someone there. As she slowly starts to get up from where she was sitting, she suddenly sees Shane walking directly towards her. At first, she just stares at his impressive physique and begins to think that maybe he is a professional model her friend had hired specifically for her. But as soon as she sees his face, she recognizes that this is her stranger husband. He starts asking her what happened. "Didn't you like your husband's body?" Susie quickly turns her face the other way and says, "I didn't mean it like that." She asks, "How did the two of us end up together like this?" Shane says, "Looks like you don't remember anything from last night." So Susie explains, "All I remember is that yesterday I was at a party with my friend and we were waiting for some big shot to arrive. But I don't remember anything after that. How did I end up at your house? Actually, I was drunk, so I don't remember anything." Then Shane tells her, "You insisted on coming to my house yourself, so I brought you here." Susie thinks to herself, "How could I do something like that? Why did I come to my stranger husband's house?" Just then, Shane says, "Here, drink some honey water so your headache will get better." Then he tells her that breakfast is ready, so they can have breakfast together. Hearing this, Susie thinks that he is still such a stranger to her, so sitting and having breakfast with him would be so awkward. So she quickly grabs her clothes and says, "No, no, I have something important to do," and then grabs her shoes and runs away from there. As she's leaving quickly, all she can think is that she has never been to a stranger man's house before, so this is extremely embarrassing for her. Just then, Susie bumps into a grandma there, quickly apologizes to her and asks, "Grandma, are you okay?" So then, the grandma just keeps looking at Susie and thinks to herself how beautiful and nice this girl is. She thinks, "From today, I can't let this girl go. I won't find such a good granddaughter-in-law anywhere else." Then the grandma starts pretending, saying, "Oh, I'm in pain." So Susie says, "Come on, I'll take you to the nearby hospital." But grandma refuses, saying, "No, no, that's not necessary. Just give me your number, that will be enough." Susie is shocked by this. Grandma tells her, "If I don't feel better later, I'll call you and ask you to come." So Susie agrees, and as soon as she gives her number, Grandma says bye-bye and starts to leave. Then she thinks to herself how strange this grandma was. Just then, she gets a call from her dad, who angrily yells at her to come home. When Susie reaches home, she stands outside the house, reminiscing about her childhood. She remembers the very first time she came to this house to be with her family. Her mom and dad had found out that she was their real daughter, but even then, they continued to love their adopted daughter more and ignored Susie. And even today, it's still the same. When Susie comes inside, her dad starts yelling at her in anger, saying that she married another man behind their backs. So Susie says, "Whoever I marry is my own choice. Do I need to get your permission for that?" Then her mom yells at her, "How can you talk to your dad like that? We are your biological parents. Don't we even have that much right over you?" Susie says, "Till today, you have never treated me like your real daughter. In fact, your real daughter is Lynn, isn't she? So why do you even care about me? You've always just ignored me." Then her adopted sister Lynn starts saying, "Sister, after all, the parents are only thinking about what's best for you, and this is your fault. Why did you leave Lee and marry another man?" Isn't it obvious that mom and dad would be angry about this? Then, here, her dad says, "Your sister is absolutely right. You know very well that Lee comes from such a good family. On top of that, he holds such a good position in the airlines, and just watch, his future is very bright. He will go far. Don't you understand even this much?" So Susie says, "Are you more impressed by his bright future, or is it his family's business that you want to use to elevate our own family, and that's why you're trying to use me? But let me tell you another truth. The status he has in the airlines is all because of me." As soon as she hears this, his mom starts saying, "Who do you think you are? Are you even worthy of him? On the contrary, Lee belongs to such a good family. You should have been happy to marry into his rich family. Are you even worthy enough to get someone from a family more powerful than his?" Just then, Shane arrives at their house and says, "Who said she can't get someone like that?" Seeing him, Lynn immediately recognizes him and says, "Aren't you Shane, the young master of the Pei family?" Shane then grabs Susie and says, "As Susie's new husband, it's my duty to meet my parents-in-law. That's why I've come here." Then Shane starts introducing himself and talking about his family. At this, Susie's dad says to him, Susie's marriage was supposed to be with Mr. Lee, who belongs to such a good family. They were offering a very high bride price, and Susie's dad also says to Shane, "You don't even know her, so why are you marrying her?" So Shane immediately takes out his card and shows it, saying, "What I have the most is money." He is offering them a full $1 million as the bride price. Hearing this, Susie's mom immediately becomes happy and takes the card. And then Shane says to Susie's dad, "Not only do I know Susie, but she has been my crush for the past 10 years. Susie is completely shocked to hear this. Just then Shane says, "Well, now that I've met your parents, let me drop you off at the office." After that, Shane leaves with Susie and drops her off at her office in his car. When he tries to help her unbuckle her seatbelt, Susie stops him and says, "I'll do it myself." She starts to thank him for today and says, "Your acting was so good that even I believed it." Shane asks, "What acting?" So Susie says, "The one you did in front of my parents, saying that I've been your crush for so long. Seriously, your acting was really good." Then Shane says, "I admit it might be hard to believe, but it's true that I like you, and I'm not lying about this at all." Hearing this, she just keeps looking at him. At that moment, we see Lee, who is standing outside and recognizing Shane's car, realizing that it's the big shot's car. He thinks, if I get on good terms with him, my career will become much easier. As Lee approaches the car, Susie starts to hide her face. Shane says, "Don't worry, he won't be able to see us from outside. And the way you were hiding, it looked like the two of us are having a secret affair here." Susie says, "I just don't want to talk to him at all, that's why I was hiding." Shane thinks that maybe she still hasn't gotten over her ex-boyfriend. Just then, Lee feels from outside that he saw Susie, so he starts calling out, "Susie, is that you?" At that moment, Shane quickly gets out of the car and yells at him, "Who are you and why are you peeking into my car?" Then they come from the car, grab him and take him away. After that, Shane opens the car door for Susie and tells her not to worry, he's already gone. So Susie starts to thank him and says that if you ever need my help, you can let me know. Shane says, "But you've already done that." Susie asks, "What?" So Shane tells her, "You married me." Then he says, "I'm just kidding. Alright, if I ever need anything, I'll let you know. So now go ahead and get to work quickly." Susie then says bye to him and comes here. And when she goes to the canteen at lunchtime, Lee's new girlfriend Xiao comes over to make fun of Susie and starts saying, "Oh, I almost forgot Lee dumped you, so where would he be with you now?" Susie angrily asks her, "What are you even doing here?" Then she tries to mock her by saying, "You must have never spent a night with Lee, right? You have no idea how amazing he is." Saying this, she shows her the mark on her neck. So Susie says to her, "You really like playing with fire, don't you? Do you even know if you can handle this?" Then she starts saying, "You're so boring and you've never even let Lee touch your hand, so how could he possibly be interested in you? You're not even worthy of him." So, in anger, Susie throws water on her and says, "Looks like he hasn't told you more things about me, that I always settle my scores with people." Then Xiao starts yelling at her saying, "This is the kind of person you are? That's exactly why Lee doesn't like you at all, and he never will." Saying this, she leaves. Just then, Lee arrives and Xiao quickly starts telling him, "Look what Susie has done to me. She soaked me completely. You have to take revenge on her for me." Then he asks, "Is Susie here?" He gets happy and quickly goes to talk to Susie. Then Lee comes to Susie and says, "I went to your department to look for you. There, I found out that you had come to the canteen." Susie angrily asks him, "What are you doing here?" "Look, don't bother me." Then he grabs her hand and says, "I want to start dating you again, and I also want to apologize for my previous attitude. Look, now I'll make Xiao resign and leave from here. Then you won't be angry anymore, right?" So Susie says, "Do you really think that if you send Xiao away from here, the problems between us will just end?" She starts saying to him, "What do you think of yourself?" Then Lee says, "We had a relationship for so many years, you can't just leave me like this." At that moment, we see that Shane has come here with his friend, and his friend is saying that since he suddenly started working at this airline, he must have come for his wife Susie. Then both of them see Susie with Lee, and his friend starts saying, "Wasn't sister-in-law in a relationship with Lee before? They were both dating publicly, so why are these two together now?" So Shane says that this is bothering him. He says, "Do one thing, file a notice against Lee saying that he can't harass his colleague like this, and because of this disgraceful behavior, his promotion is now being cancelled." Hearing this, his friend is also shocked and says, "You're cancelling his promotion just for such a small act? You're doing so much for your sister-in-law? Just then, Susie yells at Lee, telling him not to bother her. She says she has to go do her work, but he grabs her hand and starts saying that his feelings for her still haven't gone away. He says, I've even told my dad to invest in your dad's business. So can't you still see my feelings for you? So Susie tells him that she doesn't care about his family business or his feelings. She tries to pull her hand away, but Lee won't let go. Seeing this, even Shane starts to get angry. He is just about to step forward when Susie picks up a plate and hits Lee with it, freeing her hand from his grasp. Then he says, You're going to do this to me? Seeing this, even Shane's friend gets scared and says, Your wife sure has a temper? I never knew that our airline's beautiful star controller could be so angry. This is the first time I'm seeing this side of her. So Shane says, She did the right thing. The way he was behaving, he deserved it. Here, Susie is yelling at Lee, saying, I really misunderstood you, and now I realize what kind of person you are. I used to think that you truly loved me, which is why I liked you. But now I realize what a huge mistake I made. Lee says, No, I really do love you. So Susie says, Take your worthless love somewhere else because I don't care about these lies. And yes, it would be better if you keep your lies hidden and stay away from me. Otherwise, if I tell everyone about you, you'll lose this job too. So Lee says, For now, just calm down. You'll see, one day or another, I'll make you realize my love for you. Saying this, he leaves, and Susie thinks to herself that such a day will never come. Then Shane feels happy seeing that Susie no longer likes her ex-boyfriend. Now here, Shane's friends start saying, Seriously, sister-in-law is really amazing. Do you think you'll be able to handle her too? So Shane tells his friend, I like flowers with thorns. Just then, as Susie is about to look at Shane, he leaves from there. So she thinks that maybe she was mistaken. Then she picks up her friend's call. Her friend starts telling her on the call that her shift time has started, so she should come quickly. Then the next day, we see that Shane has come to his parents' house, and here his grandma is telling him that he has gotten quite old now. When is he finally going to get married? So Shane says, Grandma, I'm only 27 right now. So his grandma says that he's not young anymore. At your age, your mom and dad were already married. Here, Shane's mom and dad also start saying that his grandma is absolutely right. So Shane says, You guys don't worry. Everything is under my control. Grandma says, What's under control? I don't see anything under control. Then she starts telling that just a few days ago, she met a girl who was very nice and whom she really liked. But after checking her social media, she found out that the girl was already married. So Shane's dad starts telling him, Did you hear? Now quickly marry a nice girl, otherwise you'll end up a bachelor for life. Then Shane tells his mom, dad, and grandma that actually, he's already married. Hearing this, all three of them are shocked. Then they ask him, Are you telling the truth? Shane says, Yes, don't worry, I'll bring her to meet you all this weekend. Then Grandma makes him promise not to forget. And then as Shane is leaving, he messages Susie asking, Are you busy? I wanted to talk to you about something. Susie sees his message at home and replies that no, she's not busy. So he immediately calls her and asks where she is. She tells him that she's at home. Why, what happened? He says, Alright then, I'm coming to meet you. I wanted to talk to you about something in person. Hearing this, she is shocked because last time she felt really awkward when she stayed at his house. She refuses him, saying that it's not right for him to come, and hangs up the call. Then when Shane tries to call her again, she quickly blocks his number as well. Shane keeps calling her repeatedly, so he realizes that she has blocked him. So he immediately calls the company manager and says, Give me Susie's address. Then the manager starts saying, It seems you also like our Susie? A lot of guys like her. But look, let me tell you, I can't give you her personal address. Then Shane says, I'm her husband. Hearing this, he is shocked and says, So that's why she called you her husband that day and you didn't even get angry. I just couldn't understand. Look, I'll give you the address right now. Susie is eating the food she ordered from outside. Just then, someone knocks on the door, so she wonders if it might be Shane. She thinks, No, after all, how would my stranger husband know my address? Then she goes and opens the door and is shocked to see Shane. Then she closes the door, but Shane quickly comes inside and she wonders if he has come here to talk about divorce. Just then he notices the snack she has and says, Is this what you're eating? Then he immediately goes into her kitchen and starts picking up tomatoes and other things. So Susie says, Mr. Shane, what are you doing? He replies, Why did I even come here then? So why not let you taste something I've cooked myself? Then Shane goes to cook and Susie waits for him. Then as soon as he brings the food for her, she says, I never thought that someone as rich as you would know how to cook. Then after tasting the food, she praises him, saying, This is actually really tasty. It's been such a long time since I've eaten something this delicious. So Shane says, It's just some ordinary noodles. Then she starts to explain that after her adoptive parents left, she didn't get to eat such good homemade food. Then Shane thinks to himself that she must have gone through so much. Then she asks, By the way, you must have come here for some work, right? You wouldn't have come all this way just to feed me, would you? Shane says, I came to ask why you blocked me. Then she says, You're joking. I didn't do anything like that. Shane says, you told me that if I ever needed help, you would help me. So I've come to you here for help. He gives her the contract. Susie thinks, how could I possibly help him? He then starts to tell her that this is a marriage contract. I want you to sign a marriage contract with me. Actually, my family is pressuring me to get married soon, so I want you to come meet my family and help me by acting in front of them and making a deal with them. In return, I'll give you compensation every month. And he mentions giving her 500,000. So Susie asks, are you sure? Shane says that if this is too little, I can increase it. She immediately agrees, saying, no, this is more than enough, and adds, you've helped me so many times, so I can at least help you a little. And she thinks to herself that she never expected her stranger husband to be so rich. Shane is then happy and says, that's good, you agreed. So alright, I'll transfer this month's money to you soon. And yes, on Saturday, I'll take you to my house to meet my parents, and for that day, I'll send you a formal dress, so make sure you're ready. Susie says, alright, don't worry, I'll be ready on time. Then she goes to see Shane off at the door, and as soon as she comes back inside, Shane transfers the money to her. Seeing the money, she becomes happy and immediately calls her friend to tell her that she has signed a marriage contract with her husband Shane, and now she is going to be very rich because she will be getting a lot of money every month. Her friend is quite shocked and says, What have you done? Why did you sign the contract after all? Your husband is worth millions, so do you just want to bring harm to yourself? Susie gets ready by wearing the dress sent by Shane and is happy that it fits her perfectly. Then she tells him on the call that she is ready, so he says, alright, I'll come to pick you up in half an hour. Then she puts on her coat and gets ready, thinking about how her friend Renee told her to do something to win Shane's heart, but she thinks, he's not going to fall for me just because of my looks. A rich guy like him doesn't lack anything, so it's better if I just earn money myself. Then, when Shane brings Susie in front of his parents' house, she starts feeling nervous. Shane asks, are you nervous? So Susie says, I know ours is a contract relationship, but even so, I'm really nervous about meeting your parents. So Shane holds her hand and says, don't worry, I'm here with you. She gets shocked that he even held her hand. Do I really have to act this much? Then, as soon as the two of them enter the house, Shane starts introducing Susie to his mom, dad, and grandma, saying, this is Susie, my wife, and he also introduces her to his grandma. So then Susie greets grandma, mom, and dad by saying hello to everyone. Now grandma looks at Susie and recognizes her as the same girl. She gets very angry, thinking she was already married before, so Shane brought her here to make fools out of us. Susie notices that mom and dad are happy, but Shane's grandma looks very angry with her. Then Shane's mom quickly seats Susie next to her, and grandma angrily tells Shane to sit beside her. Then grandma says to Shane, you shouldn't have done this to us. You brought a married girl here to make fools out of us. Did you think I wouldn't find out? Shane says, what are you talking about? So then grandma starts telling his mom and dad as well. Remember the girl I told you about, that outstanding girl? But she got married. That girl is none other than her. So Shane tells his grandma, the one I married is none other than her. Grandma still doesn't believe it, so he quickly takes out his marriage certificate and shows it. Grandma is delighted to see this and says, wow, you two really did get married. Then she asks, but why did you hide such a wonderful thing from us? And then grandma quickly goes and sits next to Suji. Suji starts to wonder if grandma doesn't like her. So grandma tells her that when she first saw her, she had already liked her for the position of her granddaughter-in-law. Then, as a welcome gift, she takes off her bracelet to give to her and explains that it is a family heirloom. Suji refuses to take it and signals to Shen. So Shen says, if grandma is giving it to you, then take it. So Suji then puts on the bracelet from grandma and thanks her. Just then, Shen's mom and dad also give Suji a red envelope as a welcome gift, and seeing this, she becomes happy, thinking she's become even richer. Then all of them sit down together to have a meal. So here, Shen's mom tells Suji that Shen told them she likes homemade food. That's why, look, I've made so many dishes for you. Did you like all of this or not? Suji replies that yes, she liked it, and she feels very happy that after her adoptive parents, there is someone who cares for her so much. Then grandma becomes very happy and starts telling Suji that why don't she and Shen both come and live at their house? It would feel so nice if the whole family lived together. Then Shen's mom also says that yes, grandma is right. You two should move in here. Now Shen says, Mom and grandma, don't scare Suji. It's her first time here today and you'll end up scaring her right away. And anyway, whether Suji wants to stay here or not depends on her own choice. No one can force her. So Suji thinks to herself that this family is so nice, so even if I do stay here, I'll feel good about it. Then she says yes to them. Hearing this, even Shen is shocked. After dinner, Shen is taking Suji to her room and tells her to consider this her own home now. Suji asks, do we both have to share the same room as well? Shen says, don't worry, I won't force you. I'll stay in the guest room, so go ahead and get some rest. At that moment, Suji says, wouldn't it be better if we don't tell everyone at the airline about our marriage? I don't want everyone sitting around gossiping about us. So Shen thinks she doesn't want everyone to know about our relationship, but one day she'll definitely see my sincerity and accept me in front of everyone. Shen agrees to this and tells Suji, alright, I'll ask the maid to send over an extra dress for you right now so you can rest comfortably. Then Suji is waiting in the room. Just then, a lot of maids come in carrying clothes for her. She's shocked to see so many clothes. Seriously, this guy's really rich. She thinks to herself that she never expected she would marry such a rich guy. Then, the next morning, Shen goes to drop Suji off at her company. He lets her off at a distance and tells her not to worry. No one at the company will find out about our relationship. Then, when Suji is in the canteen, her friend sees her bracelet and starts saying that Shen's family must have given it to her, right? Just by looking at it, you can tell it's such an expensive bracelet. So Suji says, speak a little more quietly. I don't want anyone here to find out about my marriage to Shen. So her friend says, that's fine, but you and he are sitting so far apart while eating. Isn't that a bit much? Suji replies, no, it's not too much. Come on, eat quickly now. We have to get back to our duty after this. Then, after work is over, Suji and her friend are leaving the company. Just then, a rich man arrives at the company with his guards and Lee is welcoming him. At that moment, the man, whose name is Mr. Joe, sees Suji and immediately becomes happy, thinking how beautiful this girl is. He instantly stops her and asks, beautiful girl, would you like to have a drink with me? Suji tells him, who are you? I don't know you. And her friend also supports Suji, telling the man, how can you say something so shameless? Then Lee says, how can you talk to Mr. Lee like that? Suji's friend also says, we don't talk to dogs like you. Then Lee starts explaining that they have no idea how rich a family he comes from and that Joe is the young master of the Joe family who has come to invest in our Southern Airlines. So talking to him like this is something you people can't afford. Then Joe says, did you hear that? He offers Suji saying, Giffy, if you have a drink with me, then I'll agree to invest in this airline. He tries to touch her, but Suji pushes his hand away and says that she's not interested, and she starts to leave with her friend. Then Lee immediately stops Suji and starts explaining to her that he is a major client of our airline, so don't let him leave like this. Look, if you help me keep this client here, it will benefit both you and me. So please just have a drink with him. Suji yells at him, asking by what right he is telling her to have a drink with this guy. And she says, I've done so much for you, and this is how you're repaying me? Then he says, I've already apologized for all of that, haven't I? And anyway, you've done so much for me until now, so just do this too. What's the big deal in this? Just help me one last time, please. So Suji hits him and yells at him to stay away from her and starts to leave. Then Joe says, this girl is even more interesting. He tells his guards to stop her and then all the guards surround Suji. She yells at this guy, asking what he actually wants. So he says, your name is Suji, right? Look, I'm offering you a drink. If you have a drink with me, I'll give you whatever you want in return. If you want a house, I'll give you a house. If you want money, I'll give you money. Just tell me what you want. Then Susie's friend also refuses, saying, my friend doesn't want your filthy offer. So Liv shouts, don't get involved. Why are you causing unnecessary trouble? Then Susie's friend shouts back at him, cheater, you just stay out of this. And she kicks him hard, telling him, I'm not going to have any drinks with you. Now tell us, how are you going to let us leave from here? He says, if you don't want to drink, that's fine. Then just spend the night with me. She yells, stop using such filthy words. This is a public place. Otherwise, I'll call the police right now. He says, I was just joking, why are you getting so serious? Then he says, alright, you want wine? So he says, fine, then just have a normal drink. Then he mixes some medicine into a drink and tries to give it to Susie. As Susie goes to take the bottle, her friend is there. Just then, Susie grabs the bottle and hits the guy right in the face with it. After hitting him, she tries to run away. He quickly tells the guards to go after her. As she's running, Sina arrives. Seeing him, Susie gets happy and asks, what are you doing here? He says, I was just passing by. Then Shane starts to take Susie away from there and the guy starts shouting, who are you and how can you just take her away like that? He explains that he is also the young master of the P family. Upon hearing this, the other person immediately apologizes, saying he didn't know, and then tries to take Susie away again. But the other person says, but this girl attacked me. So even if you are the young master of the P family, you can't just take her away. How can I let her go without avenging my humiliation? Then Suzuki's friend says, you were the one who bothered us first, so your intentions were wrong. Of course you'll be punished. And then he says, you're all wrong. I just wanted to pursue this girl and my intentions were very simple. Then Shale, holding Susie close, says, she is my wife. He says, "You can't do anything with her?" With this, Lee thinks to himself that Susie has managed to trap such a big shot. Then Mr. Joe apologizes, saying, "I didn't know. Chemistry, Shane? She may be your wife, of course, sorry," and leaves with his guards. Lee is extremely angry, wondering how Susie could be involved in such a situation. "She is only mine, and I will definitely get her back," he thinks as he also leaves. She thanks him and says, "You came at just the right time." He replies, "If you ever get into trouble like this again, can you let me know right away? For you, I can come anywhere, anytime." Hearing this, someone's friend says, "Wow, the relationship between you two is really nice." Then Susie, for Nancy's sake, suggests, "Why don't we drop my friend home first and then go home?" But she says, "No, you two continue your sweet conversation. I'll go on my own." And after saying bye, she quickly leaves. From here, he takes Susie with him. The next day, Then she tries to confirm whether something happened between you and Mr. Shane last night or not, so Susie quickly silences her, saying, "What are you even talking about?" And then she goes to the washroom. Meanwhile, Chow comes in here and is planning to knock her out. She thinks that if she knocks her out and delivers her to him, then Lee will help her get a promotion. As she is carrying her away after knocking her out, Shane sees her and shouts, "Let her go!" When Susie regains consciousness, she quickly comes to Shane and Shane starts to carry her away. Fosse tries hard to stop them, but her plan fails, which makes her angry. Here, as soon as Shane seats Susie in the car, she starts to kiss him, so Shane stops her again and says, "Just wait a little longer, I'll take you home right now." Then after bringing her home, he immediately calls the doctor and tells Susie, "Just a little longer." The doctor arrives on time, gives Susie an injection, and then leaves. And then Shane gives an order to his secretary to teach Lee a lesson. When Lee reaches his car, he sees that someone has smashed it. He starts shouting, asking who did it. Just then, Shane's guards arrive, and they're there to warn him that he messed with someone he shouldn't have. The next day, Susie goes out to eat with her friend. Her friend asks her why she went home yesterday without saying anything to her brother. Susie then remembers how the effects of the drug started on her yesterday, and she feels embarrassed remembering how she was kissing him under the influence of the drug and says that she was in a hurry, so she forgot to tell her. She apologizes for that. Her friend says it's no big deal. She was just worried about her. That's why she asked. Then her friend mentions that today, a new girl is joining their airline who used to be Mr. Shane's junior as well. So then, Susie asks more about her, like whether Mr. Shane and she have a good relationship. Her friend replies that yes, they were childhood friends, and she herself recommended this new girl for the position here. But she warns Susie to be a little careful around her, because she has heard that Mr. Shane had a childhood lover whom he liked very much. So maybe it's her? Susie responds by saying, "What's wrong with that?" Anyway, Shane and I are just in a contract relationship. Then in the next scene, Suzuki introduces Susie to a reporter because they are friends and she wants to send Susie for an interview. That's why Susie is being considered for the interview, and the man is praising Suzuki here. He even suggests his nephew as a potential match for Susie, saying that since she is so outstanding, why not let her get to know his nephew a little? Who knows, maybe he'll like her. But Susie refuses the marriage proposal for now. The man then asks, "Alright, just tell me what type or color you prefer, and I'll find someone else for you." Because girls should think about their love life along with their career. Thinking about So Shu, she starts describing her ideal type just like him. When she starts explaining her entire type, the man realizes, "It seems like you're already interested in someone." Then Susie reveals that she's already married. Hearing this, both of them are shocked. Later, when Susie steps outside, she thinks, "When the boss asked me if I had any particular type, I ended up thinking about Shani." She wonders, am I really starting to like him? But between us, it's just a contract relationship, and on top of that, he has a junior whom he might like, and maybe she's his first love. Everything happens, and seeing Suji, he wonders, what's wrong with her? She seems a bit upset. Just then, Suji doesn't see him and bumps into him. She says, "Sorry, I didn't see you." Shania pretends that his hand is hurt and says, "Why don't you check it?" She immediately goes to check his coat, but he stops her and says, "I was just joking, that's good then. You're okay? Besides, in a way, you're my boss too, so if I get rid of you, how will I get paid? So, it's my fault." Shen then thinks to himself, is she really only thinking that there's nothing between us except a contract relationship? Then Shen starts to tell Suji that today he wants to take her to a birthday party for one of his friends. So Suji wonders if his colleague will also be there. Then she immediately agrees, which surprises Shen quite a bit because he thought Suji would refuse. Suji thinks, at first I thought that if we didn't tell everyone about our marriage, it would be better. That way we wouldn't face any trouble. But now it seems that if we hide it, we might get into more trouble. So why not just tell everyone? So Shen agrees and says, yes, you're absolutely right. Then Suji says, okay, I'll get ready properly. Don't worry, I'll look very beautiful. You won't regret marrying me. He replies that there's no need for all that, just be comfortable, that's better. You're already very beautiful. But she insists, no, still, we have to take this seriously. It's the first time we're making our relationship public. Then she tells him to wait, she'll get ready quickly and come back. Suji goes to her room and starts looking for a dress. That's when she finds a box with a letter inside. Seeing it, Suji remembers how a boy had once helped her a lot. And in the letter, he had also left some money for her, which really helped Suji. He was from another nation, but Suji can't recall exactly who he was, and she thinks that she would like to meet that person again. Then, after getting ready, Suji comes out and asks Shen how she looks. He compliments her, saying she looks very nice. When the two of them arrive at the party together, Shen's junior gets extremely jealous, seeing Suji because Shen is telling everyone about her. Okay, this is my wife. All of Shen's colleagues become extremely happy because none of them had imagined that Mr. Shen would marry our star controller. They especially start praising Suji, saying that Mr. Shen is very lucky. So Shen says, yes, I really am very lucky. Meanwhile, when Sudhir sits with her friend starts saying, look at how that junior's face changed when he heard Shen say that you are his wife. Suji tells her friend, don't worry, it's not like I'm afraid of him anyway. Then here, this junior comes over and starts talking to them, and in front of everyone she raises a toast saying, thank you for recommending me for this job. Because of you, I got so many good colleagues. Shen says, no, you truly deserve it. Then placing his hand on Suji, he starts introducing her, saying, this is my wife. He also introduces Suji saying, she is my junior from school days. And he also mentions, I have always considered her like my little sister. Suji feels happy that he is explaining this about her right now. It starts to get a bit awkward as she says, honestly, I never thought Shen would marry a girl like you. Hearing this, Suji's friend also gets angry, and Suji stands up to defend herself. She says, you may have spoken to me politely, but you called me by the wrong name. You should address me as sister-in-law. Then she asks Shen, husband, am I right? Shen also supports her and says, yes, you should call her sister-in-law. So she gets angry, but just then Suji's friend comes over and tells her to let it go, not to disturb the two of them. After all, young couples should be given private time to spend together. She says, why don't you come talk to us instead? We want to know more about you. They ask her how it feels to be the email captain, and all the colleagues start saying that yes, we want to know too. She really doesn't want to go with them, but they grab her and take her along. Meanwhile, Suji signals to her friends that she's there to help them. Then Shane says to Suji, when you called me just now, I really liked it. Suji thinks to herself, but I just called him husband. Then she says, I just said it by mistake, it was a slip of the tongue, so don't mind it. Shane replies, of course I didn't mind, in fact I really liked it whenever you feel like it, you can call me husband as many times as you want. Suji then starts smiling. Then Shane's friend says to everyone, come on, let's play a game. Right away, Rowan suggests, let's play a singing game. And she says, I'll go first. Everyone agrees, and then Rowan comes over to Shane and asks him, why don't you come and do a duet with me? But he refuses, saying, no, I'll only sing with my wife. Then Shane's friend says, yeah, in Shane's eyes, only his wife matters. So he suggests, how about this? Let's let Shane and his wife sing first, and after that, I'll sing a song with you. Everyone agrees to this. Then Shane asks Sensui, would you like to sing with me? Both of them come forward, and when they start singing, everyone really likes it, and then everyone praises them, saying that both of them look like a perfect match. Hearing all this makes Juan angry. After the party, everyone starts to leave for home. Shane's friend is taking Suzuki's friend with him and says, I'll drop her home, she's drunk. Then Asian and Suzy are also leaving. At that moment, Juan grabs Shane's hand and starts saying, look, I've had so much to drink, so you should drop me home. Have you forgotten how much you used to care for me even back in school? He used to drop me home too. Hearing this, Susie thinks to herself, so those rumors were true. Shane really is very close to that junior of his. Then Shane tells Ruin, don't say anything like that. It wasn't just me. There were other seniors with us too. By saying things halfway like this, you're making people misunderstand. Got it? So Ruin says, but what did I say that was so different? Then she turns to Sui and says, mother-in-law, you can see how drunk I am, right? So if Shane drops me home, you won't mind, will you? Tell me. So Susie says, whatever decision you make, I have no objection to it. Shane replies, it really wouldn't be right for me to drop you home, so you wait here. I'll send someone to take you home. Then, as per the plan, someone comes to take Susie away, and Juan is left just standing there. At this point, Susie is thinking, he really didn't come to drop me home. Maybe he's still in the car. Meanwhile, Zuban is thinking, Susie, you took Shane away from me, didn't you? But I won't give up so easily. On the other hand, Susie feels that it's not right to leave her alone like this, but Shane says, don't worry, there are cameras installed all over this area. Besides, I'll send my driver right away so nothing will happen. Then, as he fastens his seatbelt, he adds, and on top of that, if I go to drop another woman home this late at night, I'm afraid my wife will, well, she'll go to sleep. So Susie asks, who said I would? Just then, Shane is about to start the car when he gets a call from Irfan, who is shouting on the phone, come here and help me. Shane then tells Susie, I'll be right back. Susie also gets scared, wondering if there really is some problem. Shane goes over and sees that Ruhan is being harassed by two men. She quickly gets angry and says, I knew it, you wouldn't leave me. Meanwhile, Susie is watching all this through the mirror. Shane scares off those goons by threatening to call the police, so they run away. Then he tells Ruhan, let me go. But she isn't letting him go and keeps saying, I'm still very scared. When Susie sees this, she feels upset, so she tries to convince herself that it's nothing after all. The two of them are just in a contract relationship, so he can date anyone he wants. Then Susie calls her friend and starts asking her about this. What do you think? Does Shane really consider that junior of his to be his first love? Her friend replies, are you really asking me this at a time like this? But anyway, I saw them at the party. Their chemistry is just like that of an older brother and younger sister. But yes, it's also true that he had an old crush, which I've heard about. Susie asks, do you know who that is? And then her friend says, I don't know about that, but a rich guy like Shane, who only hangs out with other rich people, his crush must definitely be someone from his own circle. Susie says, then there must be a lot of girls around him who like him. Her friend replies, yes, that's true. But there aren't any other rumors about registration, meaning apart from his secret crush, he never liked anyone else. So his first love must be really special to him. Susie then asks, what do you think? If his first love comes back, will my contract relationship with Shane also end? Her friend says, it seems like you aren't able to let him go. That means you've started to like him, haven't you? So Susie says, no, don't say anything, and you should think about yourself right now. Then she hangs up the call and starts thinking, have I really started to like Shane? She thinks, no, I can't do this. After all, there's someone else in Shane's life, and in such a situation, she can't come between them. Just then, Shane comes and sits in the rickshaw. Seeing Susie looking upset, he asks if something happened. She says no, and asks if everything is settled with you. He says yes, and then starts telling her, don't misunderstand my relationship with her. Look, if you were in my place, you would definitely want to help her too. She says, yes, I would have done something, I understand. Come on, let's go home now. Then, when both of them go home together, Susie quickly goes to her room. The next year, when Susie is leaving with her friend after work is over, Shane is waiting for her, so Susie starts making excuses that she will go with her friend. At that moment, her friend says, how long are you going to keep ignoring Mr. Shane? It's not even his fault. And I think, since he cares about you so much, he must really like you. So don't overthink it and go talk to him nicely. Saying this, her friend leaves Susie with Shane. Susie thinks to herself, he really hasn't done anything wrong, it's just me who's feeling awkward because of all this. Then both of them are sitting in the car, and as Shane helps her with her seatbelt, he asks, why have you been avoiding me lately? Susie replies, what? No, it's nothing like that. Maybe I've just been really busy with work lately, so you must have felt that way. Shane says, look, I know you well enough to tell when you're lying. Tell me the real reason. Then she says, Because our relationship is just a contract. I don't want the person you like to have any misunderstandings because of me. I know you've liked someone for so many years, but you never share it. Shane suddenly kisses her and says, I don't do this with anyone else. I only like you. Susie is shocked and wonders if she should really believe what he's saying. Then the two of them come home and Shane still tries to explain to Susie, I really only see Ruin as my little sister. And last time I was just helping her, nothing more, so please don't misunderstand. Susie says, okay, but I think she likes you because after all, between you two, the connection is still there. So Shane asks, are you getting jealous? Susie says, no. But then he quickly kisses her and says, don't worry, I'll keep my distance from her. Hearing this, Susie feels happy. Then we see that after his vacation is over, Shane is about to leave when Ishituo, he starts saying, Ishiwa, we should keep our distance here. I don't want my wife to have any misunderstandings because of you. Then she says, we've always been such good friends. How can you suddenly push me away like this? He replies, remember, I'm just your senior. Whatever you're thinking, keep it to yourself. I don't want to have anything to do with you, so don't bother me again. Saying this, he leaves in tears. Susie feels very sorry, thinking, Susie, you took Shane away from me. Then, after Susie's vacation ends, as she's leaving by car, just then, Ruin follows her and hits her car with her own. Susie quickly gets out of the car and Ruin asks, are you okay? Susie says, there's no need to pretend to care, I'm fine. She adds, the police will be here soon and I'll handle it myself since you were the one who hit my car. Just looking at her makes Ruin angry, thinking, I don't know what this girl has. She's just a little more beautiful than me, but her family background is nowhere near mine. Susie understands from Ruin's reaction and starts yelling at her. You did this on purpose. Do you even realize how dangerous that could have been? But even now, Ruin is not admitting her mistake. When the officers arrive, she starts pretending and says, Officer, my brakes failed. I didn't hit her car on purpose. The officer replies, all right, so it was just an accident. In that case, you both can go. But Susie insists, no, I want to file a complaint against her. Then we see Susie in her office when her friend comes to tell her that she needs to go to the police station immediately. At the police station, they are about to let Ruin go right away because there is no evidence against her. She starts saying, just wait and see, you don't have any evidence against me. Just then, Shauna arrives and he has heard everything. He yells at her saying, what you did was absolutely wrong, and he takes Susie's side standing by her. Never try to mess with life again, and for the mistake you've made, I'll even get your pilot's license revoked. You did all this for Subhan, and now you're thinking of getting me thrown out of here for just an ordinary girl. Shin says, first of all, she's my wife, and secondly, you're going to be punished for the wrong thing you've done yourself. Then she says, you were the one who recommended me for this city, and now you're the one getting me fired. So Shanu shouts at her, saying that he only wanted to help her because of her dad's kindness, and also because someone as talented as her was needed here. But her intentions were wrong. She even tried to harm his wife. So this is just a small punishment for her. He starts to take Susie away from there, and Ruana begins to plead with him, saying, please forgive me this time, otherwise my dad will find out and send me abroad. Shanu replies, that's actually a good thing, you should go there. And then he leaves. After bringing Susie home, Shanu tries to reassure her that Ruana will never again. And now she can't do anything to her anymore. So Susie asks, why are you protecting me so much? Shanu says, you are my wife, so it's my duty to protect you. He tells her, you must be tired, so go to your room and get some rest. The next day, Susie and Shanu are working together, meaning Shanu is flying the plane, and Susie is the air traffic controller for that same flight today. After work, when she is leaving, she runs into him there, and he says that he wants to participate in the interview with her. Susie starts to refuse, so he begins to tell her about his feelings. He starts blackmailing her with his feelings, so she tells him to stop lying now. She says, you were just using me as your stepping stone to get ahead. But Lee still doesn't listen and keeps bothering Susie. At that moment, Shane steps in to take Susie's side and gets Lee fired. The manager immediately gets a call from Delhi and is told to suspend him. After that, Susie leaves with Shane and Susie's friend goes with them too. So what does she do to Lee? She says, this is what you deserve. Now in the movie, we see that Susie has gone for an interview where a hater comes and tries to throw a drink on her, but the people there quickly save her and the guards catch that girl. The girl then reveals that Susie's adopted sister, Lynn, was the one who ordered her to do this. Then, in anger, Lynn shouts that she did it because she was jealous of Susie. How did Susie get on stage? That's why she did it. So, to teach her a lesson, Santo immediately tries to make a call, but Susie starts to faint. So, they take her to the hospital. Susie's mom and dad are also there, and he lies, also on pretending to care, but Susie calls them out. Then, as her father tries to raise his hand against her, Sharon quickly stops him. Then Lynn, pretending to be good, says, "Sister, how could you talk to Dad like that?" Susie's mom tries to use her, but since Sharon is on Susie's side, Susie refuses and says she doesn't want any relationship with them because they never truly considered her their daughter. At this, her dad starts to get angry, but just then Shane's guards arrive and Shane orders them to throw them out of there. From this moment on, my wife will have no relationship with these people. After that, Susie is happy in her life with Shane, but Lee is very jealous about this. He goes to blackmail her, using some photos, and calls her to meet him with money. So Susie goes there and starts giving him the money. But she had already called the police beforehand, who come and arrest him. When Shane finds out about this, he goes to meet Susie. Susie is at the grave of her adoptive parents, talking to them and feeling upset. Shane comforts her there. Then he takes her away from there and suddenly proposes marriage to her. He expresses that he has liked her for a long time and that he has had feelings for her since their school days. Susie is quite shocked, and she also tells him that she has started liking him a lot too. Then, the two of them finally have their wedding ceremony. With this, the drama comes to a happy ending.